Ever wondered why we pay taxes? It feels like this giant chunk of our money just vanishes every year. But where does it actually go? And why do taxes even exist in the first place? Let's break it down, because understanding taxes is understanding how our modern world actually functions. Taxes are one of the oldest ideas in human history. Long before we had apps and online banking, ancient empires were taxing harvests, trade routes, and land. Why? For one simple reason: survival. A state that couldn't collect resources couldn't build an army, enforce laws, or keep society from falling apart. Fast forward to today, and the same basic principle holds true, just on a much more complex scale. Taxes are the financial engine of modern nations. Without them, there would be no public schools, no national defense, no hospitals, and no roads. So, at its core, taxation serves three main purposes. First, it funds public goods. These are things we all need but can't realistically provide for ourselves. Think about it. Could a private company build and maintain every road and bridge in the country? Or protect an entire nation from foreign threats? Probably not. Taxes pool our resources to create these essential systems that benefit everyone, regardless of how much money they make. Even the most free market economies on Earth rely heavily on taxes for this very reason. The second major role of taxes is redistribution. In any economy, some people get wealthier than others. It's just a natural outcome. Taxes help balance this out. They fund social programs like pensions for the elderly, unemployment benefits for those who lose their jobs, and public education so every child has a shot at success. The goal isn't to make everyone equal, but to prevent the kind of extreme inequality that can lead to social unrest and instability. History has shown time and again that when the gap between the rich and poor gets too wide, societies start to break down. Taxes act like a pressure release valve. The third function is a bit more subtle: influencing behavior. Governments use taxes to gently nudge us in certain directions. Think about the high taxes on cigarettes and alcohol. They're designed to discourage unhealthy habits. On the flip side, tax credits for things like buying an electric car or installing solar panels are meant to encourage environmentally friendly choices. Instead of outright banning things, governments make certain behaviors more expensive and others more attractive. It's a quiet but incredibly powerful tool for shaping society. Okay, so that's the why. But where does the money actually go? Most people guess wrong on this one. Contrary to popular belief, it's not all going to foreign aid or some mysterious bureaucracy. In most developed countries, the single biggest slice of the pie goes to social protection. This includes pensions, healthcare, disability support, and welfare programs. As our populations get older, the costs of healthcare and retirement support have skyrocketed, especially in places like Europe, Japan, and North America. Healthcare alone consumes a massive chunk of government budgets. The next major category is public services and infrastructure. We're talking schools, universities, public transport, water systems, and the power grid. These things might not be glamorous, but they are the bedrock of a productive economy and a good quality of life. Well-maintained infrastructure makes it cheaper for businesses to operate, attracts investment, and drives long-term growth. Countries that neglect this stuff often find themselves falling behind. Then, of course, there's defense and security. Maintaining an army, running intelligence agencies, and securing borders is expensive, even in peacetime. While it's often a controversial topic, governments see it as a necessary insurance policy. The idea is that spending on security now prevents much larger costs from conflict or instability down the road. Now for a category that's growing alarmingly fast: interest on debt. When governments borrow money, they have to pay it back with interest. As national debts around the world have ballooned, a larger and larger portion of our tax money is going not toward new services or infrastructure, but just to pay the interest on old loans. This can create a dangerous cycle where taxes are funding past borrowing instead of future progress, which in turn leads to a lot of political tension over how high taxes should be. One of the biggest frustrations people have with taxes is waste and inefficiency. And it's true, not every tax dollar is spent perfectly. Some gets lost to administrative costs, poor management, or just badly designed programs. This fuels a lot of public anger. But just because there's waste doesn't mean the whole system is broken. It just means that the quality of governance really matters. Countries with transparent, accountable governments get a lot more value out of their tax dollars than countries with corruption and weak oversight. It's also a common misunderstanding that your specific tax dollars pay for your specific services. When you pay your taxes, you're not prepaying for your bit of the road or your future hospital visit. Instead, all the money goes into one big pot. This pooled system is what allows the government to respond to huge, unexpected crises like a pandemic, a financial crash, or a natural disaster, without having to send everyone a bill in the middle of an emergency. Taxes also play a hidden but vital role in keeping the economy stable. When a recession hits and people lose their jobs, tax revenues automatically go down because incomes fall. At the same time, government spending on things like unemployment benefits automatically goes up. This process, which economists call an automatic stabilizer, helps soften the blow of a downturn and prevents the economy from collapsing completely. It's one of the main reasons modern economies are more resilient than they used to be. Ultimately, taxes are more than just a financial transaction. They are a mirror reflecting a society's priorities. A country that invests heavily in education and healthcare is showing that it values its people's long-term potential. A country that focuses on infrastructure is prioritizing economic growth. And a country that underfunds its public systems often pays a steep price later in the form of inequality and instability. Nobody loves paying taxes, but they are an unavoidable part of any functional modern society. The real debate shouldn't be about whether we should have them, but about how they're collected, who pays what, and whether we, the citizens, are getting good value in return. When a tax system is fair, transparent, and effective, it builds a foundation for a prosperous society. When it's not, it becomes a source of division and distrust. Understanding where our money goes is the first step toward having a say in the kind of society we want to build. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into how our world works. See you next time.